Hi, I'm in the studio today with a very talented and dedicated middle school artist and her wonderful teacher. Welcome to the studio, Josie and Mrs. Kiley. I'm so glad you could be here. So you are Josie and McCarthy Middle School student. And you have had a lot of success in visual art class, and this year a very special success that we're going to talk about. Mrs. Kiley, this is an award that Josie received as part of the Boston Globe Scholastic Art Competition. And each year our students are involved in this. Can you share a little bit about what that competition is and how it works?
Yes, thank you. It is a visual arts competition that is roughly grade 7 through 12, and in category 1, grade 7 and 8, which is middle school, is how I entered Josie's piece. It's been around since 1923, so it's the oldest and longest standing visual arts competition, and Josie had a beautiful piece that was entered and won a gold key in the state level. So it's a really nice opportunity for students, for young adults, to kind of showcase who they are, and it's great because it's every visual category you can really possibly imagine. So it's nice that it's kind of given those kids an opportunity to decide what type of art they are most interested in. And
you said there are many different categories, and I know when you're thinking of the art that you will submit to the competition, even just trying to decide which pieces will be submitted is a tough decision.
It is.
What is that process like for you?
So, it sounds a little silly, but it really starts the previous year with my order. What's my curriculum? What am I going to be ordering for supplies? And then as the students in term 1 and part of term 2 go through the curriculum, I just save what I feel is exemplary pieces. And having been involved with this competition for 17 years, art is very subjective, as we all know, but I entered so many pieces in the past to kind of know what the judges are looking for. And they really emphasize, because of kind of like the artist's voice, they emphasize, of course, craftsmanship and quality. They emphasize just the overall statement piece behind the work, and originality is really big with them. So it's definitely one of those things, I guess, that we can say that through the process, the selective process on my end is very difficult.
So you selected Josie's piece for submission, and pieces will either not win anything or they'll win different levels of awards, and as you said, you won a gold. What happens to those pieces that win a gold medal?
The gold winners do go on to national recognition, to national competition, and from there we find out who the winners are. And I can say for the first time in the 17 years I've been working in Chelmsford at McCarthy Middle School that my darling here, Miss Josie Lee, won a silver nationally.
Congratulations, and this is the beautiful certificate here. I feel like I'm on QVC. This is Josie's silver medal certificate. That is such an accomplishment because, as Mrs. Kiley said, we haven't had a student that I know of that's won one of the national awards. So
I don't think so.
You go, girl. And show us the medal that you got, too. Gorgeous. This is a very special souvenir that I hope you'll keep and remind you of this accomplishment. So let's talk about the actual piece now. Let's see it. Tell us about this project, Josie. What did you do? What was it all about?
So I had a choice of 2 projects. One of them was doing like poetry art, where like I took a page from a book and I used words in that page to make a poem. And the other one was dictionary art, where I took a page from a dictionary and the illustration of a word that was on that page.
And so you chose the poem.
Yep.
And so when you were actually creating that, how did you select which words you were going to choose, and how did you kind of put it together into that visual statement that you made?
So I read the entire page, and it was kind of about like someone getting ready to go to bed. So I decided to do a poem about that.
And which came first, the poem or the idea about what you would create artistically?
The poem?
Yeah, and that inspired the rest of it?
Yep.
Let's take one more peek at this. So how do you describe this?
The person in the bed is kind of like dreaming.
I love it. It's very soothing even to look at. And then as you read through the words, it's almost like a very calming mantra
Yes.
as someone is going to sleep.
It's got the concept of kind of like a blackout poetry. So you're emphasizing the words that are being highlighted, and she chose to stay with the medium of ink, Sharpie, kind of black ink, and she did a really nice job with selecting the words because it's meant to be kind of like free verse, kind of a shortened poem.
Well, very effective. And how did you create the concept for this project, Mrs. Kiley?
So I like to do a lot of connection into other disciplines. And a couple of years ago, I was reading a book, my own book. I actually forget what book it was at the time, and I remember thinking, wouldn't this be such a cool idea? And then, like all creative people out there, I found it on Pinterest. And I said to myself, oh geez, here's another thing that I thought I invented, kind of like today we call it FaceTime. Back in the 1980s, I said, wouldn't it be cool to have a phone to see each other, when you're talking to your friend? All these
what
inventions.
about the Jetsons?
Yeah, exactly. Jetsons. I know, right? And so I slowly started developing it in the literacy genre, where they have a couple of choices. Josie explained one about the dictionary. One involved kind of like an abstract self-portrait where they had to use their hand and use all different fonts and typography within the hand with quotes and things that inspire them. And for this one, I was fortunate enough to just get a lot of books donated from the library. And then from there, the kids just kind of went to town. They just would, tear out pages and read the page. And some kids would actually start with the artwork first. Some kids would say, I want to draw a hot air balloon. And then from there, they would just kind of leave certain words out. And it just sort of worked out. But some kids really thought methodically about the words first and then the image inspiring the words, or vice versa.
This is such a nice example of a project that spans across disciplines, integrates literacy and the visual art in such a beautiful way.
Thank you.
So, well, Josie, next year you're going to be going to high school. After 2 years of working with Mrs. Kiley at McCarthy, what kind of memories or feelings do you have about your experiences with art?
I remember all the projects I did in her class.
I'm sure this one stands out. Any other projects that stand out in your memory that you really enjoyed?
The last project I did when I had her was like a collage thing. So like I could do a collage on anything I wanted. Yeah.
Josie's she's one of those outliers where she never needed the extra credit, but she produced a lot, and she actually works on her phone in a digital form as well.
Oh, wow.
So she has a couple of pieces on display at the Neshoba Valley Art Show and Competition this week. And she had one at the public library as well. So we're just lucky that she just kept taking every opportunity that was given to her and coming up with a lot of different pieces with a lot of different media.
Well, I hope you continue doing that, and in high school you'll have the opportunity to take all different kinds of studio and digital art classes and photography, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. So congratulations again on your national award. Congratulations, Mrs. Kiley, and thank you for all you do to inspire your art students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more Spotlight on Fine Arts. Well, I'm here in the studio with a very special young woman who is about to graduate from Chelmsford High School. Fanny, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
So we're here specifically to talk about your recent art accomplishments. And I also want to congratulate you because you are the salutatorian of your high school class, which is an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you.
And we'll talk a little bit about the fabulous things that you've done in art very recently. But I kind of want to take people back because now is the time when we are saying goodbye to so many students, but we're also welcoming a new batch to the high school. Students who really don't know anything about the programs and they're kind of nervous. So Can you walk us through your career in the art program at CHS and like what classes you took?
Yep, so I started right in my freshman year. I took Studio 1, which is a half-year class, followed it with Studio 2, which filled up that year. Then my sophomore year, I took Studio 3, which is a full-year class. And then I hoped to take honors art my junior year, but I ended up having too many other courses I wanted to take, so I didn't get to take art as a junior. I'm taking honors right now, but if I had taken it my junior year, I would have been an AP this year. So, yeah.
So you primarily stuck to the studio art side of the offerings. And how do you think that your technique, your artistic sensibility has evolved over the years?
I think I've definitely improved. Like, as a freshman, I hadn't really found my style, I guess, yet. And with all the different projects we get to do and explore, like mediums that I'd never really tried out on my own at home before, I definitely like broadened my range and my abilities.
Yeah, I've heard other people talk about how being kind of pushed and encouraged to work with different techniques, with different materials, different concepts for projects. Sometimes it's made a light go off for them.
Exactly. Yeah, because I guess at home I would stick with the materials I had, whereas in school, if we have a different like assignments, different goals, I can like get out of that comfort zone and try something different. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to share some of your work that we actually can share with our audience. So let's take a peek at one of your pieces here. Tell us about this. This is one of your accomplishments this year.
So that's the cover art that I made for the Student Awards Night, which was last week.
And I can share with the audience that we, as a faculty, are presented with several different options for our award night cover. And we chose this one because of the way that it incorporated symbolism of our high school in the lion and all of the different subject areas. It was just very clever and effective.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It was fun to make.
What else do we, oh, this is beautiful. So this piece won a huge award this year. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
So I entered this piece, I called it Moonflower in the Marble Collection, and it was selected to be published in their magazine, and it was also exhibited at their art gallery, which was this last weekend.
And the Marble Collection publication is one of the only high school magazines that publishes really high quality student artwork. And you also, as a result of that, participated in a mentor program.
Yep, 6 weeks.
And what was that like?
That was actually really interesting. We talked about how it could improve that piece, but also how it could improve my technique overall. I was paired with a college mentor who was a senior and going into like an art major, and so she knew a lot more than I did, and she could really help me and answered all my questions about art in college and all of that. Yeah,
it's such a great program. Now the piece Moonflower also won third place in Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas's Congressional Art Contest. And this is the first time that a CHS art student has ever placed for this contest. So I just want to convey that that is a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
What was that like for you as far as, you know, what does winning mean to you? What was the process like?
Well, I definitely didn't expect it. I was really surprised, but really happy because that was like one of the first time that we placed. I didn't win, but it was still really cool that like my work paid off. That flower took 2 months to draw.
I mean, the detail is just amazing.
It was just really exciting to, like, I don't know, be acknowledged, I guess.
I think just placing it all is winning. Period.
Yeah, winning.
That is winning.
Winning isn't like the goal for me. That wasn't it. But it was just really exciting to have it out there and have it.
And get that recognition. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think we have one more piece that we can look at by Fanny. Tell us a little bit about this fun.
So this was my second year taking part in the memory project, which is when we get this photo of a child in an orphanage who is participating in the project, and we send them back a portrait that we've drawn of them, and it's really exciting because it kind of lets us connect with people around the world through art.
Where was this orphanage this year?
So my first year it was Romania, this year was Poland. Her name is Carolina, and I don't know that much more about her, but I will once she responds and she receives the art that I made of her.
I love this project, and Ms. Coran just gets her students involved every year.
Yeah, she's really amazing about that.
The connections that are made are so unusual and eye-opening and deep. Did you watch the video of students in the past who were opening up their portraits and looking at them for the first time?
I really want to.
It's amazing. Because they're so touched that, why would somebody care about me and, create this? And that a person who I've never met. And so it's such a special experience for them.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite projects because it felt like the art mattered and someone was going to get it and be happy.
Art is a very powerful force. In addition, I just want to acknowledge you have work that's been on exhibit in Littleton at that art gallery. You have work that was submitted to a national contest, the Blick Art competition that we're waiting to hear back from.
Yep.
And of course, last year you won a silver key in the Boston Globe Scholastic Art Competition for Freedom Cries. So this has just been, you've made such a difference in the art program, and I hope that you have been impacted by the art program.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Personally. Now next year you are going off to school to major in biology.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that may not play into your daily life. The art may not play into your classes that you're taking, but do you think that you'll stay active just as an artist on your own?
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely seek out other places I can do art clubs. I'll still take classes, I think, and I'll definitely be doing it on my own too.
Well, I hope you continue because you've got quite a talent that you've honed through your effort.
Thank you.
And congratulations again on being salutatorian of the class. Congratulations on your Congressional Art Award, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll have more on Spotlight on Fine Arts coming right up. In an earlier episode of Spotlight on Fine Arts, we discussed the Town Wind Ensemble's trip and performance at Carnegie Hall in New York City. And I have with me in the studio some members of the ensemble back from being on the road with Atwee. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
I'm going to have you just tell us what instruments you play and what grade you're in. You're all Parker Middle School students.
Yeah.
Yes.
But share that with us. Who are you? What do you play?
I am Holden. I play trombone and I'm in grade 6.
Okay.
I am Ben Branco. I'm a 6th grader and I play percussion.
I'm Kyle Pinto. I'm in 6th grade and I play the trombone.
Oh, wow. So all of you in 6th grade, all of you at Parker. It's so unusual because, as you know,
Yeah.
Atwee is made up of grades 6 through 12 at 3 different schools. But I'm so glad you could be here today to share a little bit about your experience in New York City. So, tell me, was it okay?
It was awesome.
Tell me about some of the things that you did while you were there.
Well, we performed at Carnegie Hall.
What?
We went to 2 Broadway shows, Aladdin and SpongeBob the Musical, and yeah.
So we toured Carnegie before we performed there. We also toured a bunch of other music halls. And on top of that, we just got to stay at a hotel with all our friends. And there wasn't any parents in the room.
There wasn't. That was
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. All right.
I can picture some pretty good pillow fights.
Lost a couple socks.
It's what happened to my friend right before the performance. He couldn't find his socks.
The casualty of the trip, I guess. So tell me, I guess we should jump right into talking about what was it like to play at Carnegie Hall?
It was probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
So you sit there, I was there crying. I was crying the whole time. And, you look out at the audience. What kinds of feelings did you have in that moment?
Well, you could really feel how big it was, and like you realized we're here. We've been practicing, working hard so much, and every Wednesday, and we've just worked our way to get here, and that's how you get to places.
I felt really proud to be a musician when I was up there, and it just makes me feel like I want to keep playing the trombone.
Yes.
Awesome. You sounded wonderful. I couldn't take any pictures because they're very
Yeah.
strict about that.
When we got a tour, like, even if there was like one instrument on that stage, we were not allowed to have our phones out.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's the rule. We got to honor that rule, right? But I
Yeah.
have great memories, even though I don't have photographs to share with everybody. And the sound in that room was
It
breathtaking.
was much different than any other place that I've performed or practiced.
The sound carried through just the whole hall, and it was just a beautiful sound, and it was so pretty.
I loved seeing your families in the audience afterwards, and they were just as excited as you were, I think.
Yeah.
We were all very touched. So that's obviously a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
I hope you all get another chance to play there someday. Besides the actual performance at Carnegie, it sounds like you did so much.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about meeting and working with the Broadway performers.
Oh, well, we got to sing with them, we got to dance with them, we got to do everything. We learned different. So the coolest part was when we were watching Aladdin, we knew a lot of the dance moves in one of the songs in the opener, and it was
Because
so
you had
cool.
learned them in a workshop.
Yes, yep.
So what was it like? What were the actors from Aladdin? You know, they're these Broadway actors. What were they like in person?
They were just like normal people. They just were great. They were nice. They were. It was basically everything I wanted.
Adding on to what Holden said, yeah, they were regular people. They had families, they had houses. Yeah.
Now I don't know if you're all into theater yourselves and performing in theater, but were you comfortable learning all of the choreography from the actual show? What was it like?
Well, to learn the choreography was great. We actually still remember how to do it now because
It's actually gonna pay off in our concert because we're doing. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's gonna be a big surprise in our concert tonight about Aladdin.
Oh, I'm very excited now. Yay. Okay. And by the way, people watching at home, if you want to see the Town Wind Ensemble concert, it will be available on CTM. So thank you very much, CTM, for taping all of our concerts like you do. So I can't wait to see that, the surprise. And actually, at the end of this episode, I have a video that Miss Lacasse shared with me of the different groups learning the choreography. And can I just say, Mr. Sexauer is quite the performer. It was very, very good. You'll see what that's all about later. But so let's talk about, you said you did a private tour of Carnegie Hall.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was nice to be able to see not only where we were performing, but what the actual hall was and where like all the famous musicians stayed and all of that.
There's so much history there.
Yeah.
Yes, so much. It was, It was just like the tour itself, you just felt something special. You're like, I'm gonna be playing here in like a day or two, and you're like, oh, this is what it's like. This is where we're playing. It's so big. I just remember looking down, and I was like, whoa, it's so high up.
It was.
I'm just amazed at all the intricate detail that went to all the building and construction of the place. Like the columns on the front of the stage, they just have so much gold engravings and stuff on them.
Yeah, they don't build buildings like that anymore.
I was just glad they didn't tear it down back because they almost teared it down in the 1900s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they almost teared it down.
Wow.
And replaced it with like some barber shop or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just so glad you had the opportunity to play there. And I think we have to give a shout out to the directors, Allison Lacasse and Sean Wright. They're the Town Wind Ensemble directors. They also direct the McCarthy grade 5 through 8 band ensembles. And I know, or at least I have an idea of how much time and energy they put into that. But I wonder, do you have any kind of messages that you want to share with them?
Well, I'm just very grateful to have them as our directors because of how much time they put towards this, what they do for us, and just their personality in general. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. It was, they, like, we have to remember that they're volunteering to do this. And we, like Holden said, we have to be very grateful. They are so nice and so generous. They put so much time and effort into it. And like we got to play at Carnegie Hall because of them. Because we started a few years ago. I feel like it was like
2012.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that. And yeah, just because of them, because they volunteer, because they're so nice and grateful, we got to play at Carnegie Hall.
I feel amazed at how much time and effort it took to plan the trip. Every single moment of the trip we had something to do, and it wasn't like we were just sitting in our rooms looking at
Losing socks.
Yeah.
Losing socks. Yeah.
Well, I agree with every word that you just said, and I think we're very lucky to have them working in our school district and bringing opportunities like this to students like you. So I cannot wait to hear you tonight. And I can't wait to see how you continue to grow as musicians as you progress through the grade levels here and up into the high school. Keep doing what you're doing. Work hard, practice.
Yep.
And thank you very much for coming on the show today.
No problem.
And to wrap up today, I promised I would show you some video from the behind-the-scenes workshop that was presented by the Broadway cast of Aladdin, and when they worked with our members and faculty of the Town Wind Ensemble. So let's enjoy a little bit of that, and I will see you next time on Spotlight on Fine Arts.